Hello and welcome back to the Friend or Foe series, game number 2 between HBK and OOD. I am your friendly neighborhood shoutcaster, Sharigan, and joining me once again is Asim. Before we hop into this, I'd just like to issue a quick correction that I was made aware of. Tub is still in the running. There was apparently some stuff going on behind the scenes where currently their match state is in flux at the moment, so they should still be playing against. We just don't know if that'll be on broadcast or off yet.
And in the meanwhile, we've got the Blitzcrank ban. Glad to see it. Stop giving Antunes Blitzcrank, please.
To be fair, they were doing a pretty good job dodging most of Antunes' hooks. He wasn't
literally
able
to be fair, they lost the game off a Blitzcrank hook.
They did. I was gonna say they didn't miss they didn't dodge the critical ones. They dodged most of them, just not the ones they had to dodge.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing with Blitzcrank is just at any given time you could just lose the game because he hits a hook, even if you're super far ahead. But in that game you're behind, it's even harder. And I don't know. I'm glad to see it taken away. Antunes really is just strongest on the Blitzcrank and the Thresh, and pushing him on other stuff definitely gives him a better chance. Just on a still being banned makes sense for Photograph, obviously really being comfortable on that champion. And Vladimir stays permabanned against Big Twig as usual. We are seeing the adaptation from Udyr, though, the Vayne being banned. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like Vayne still is punishable, and you shouldn't be able to blind it like they did last game. And it shouldn't really work out that well regardless, but I understand the Floral is like really comfortable on it, and it's just the best champ, so maybe they want to force him onto something less comfortable, just be able to abuse the bot lane even harder. But I don't know, I kind of like the idea of leaving the Vayne up, knowing he's going to pick it, and then trying to draft into it. They are going to pick up the Shen on the first pick here after it was banned out in the second round last game. So we'll see what they can do with that global ultimate this time. Be able to make the rotations on the map more effectively to match stuff like the Nocturne if they go back into that. Or even just if they don't have anything to match it at all, being able to pressure on a 3v2 on bot side or something with the Shen ult. Really saving their bot lane and maybe getting Floral ahead further.
Exactly. I really feel like HBK's win condition is going to be on Floral in general, and taking away that Vayne is going to be a big deal. Looking at this, we have the Lulu pickup on the side of Udyr, just taking it away from HBK. That's a good response to the Shen, I think, especially with seeing how powerful it was last game. Lulu, just as general, is a fantastic support, provides so much utility for her team, not to mention a lot of survivability, and the polymorph just makes it to where any engage that's attempted on the ADC just does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Lulu's pretty crazy right now. She's like way too good, honestly. She's kind of up there with Karma, and we are seeing the Sion too. So this is going into the Shen. I don't mind it too a ton. It's actually kind of nice because in theory you can cancel his ultimate if you're fast enough. With either your ultimate or your Q. You can also cancel PP, obviously. And on top of that, you have the potential to make some crazy plays, maybe ulting down to mid lane. But just having the front line with Lulu is always nice. And I think Udyr is definitely looking to create a composition here that's something reminiscent of what they had earlier with like Cog Lulu, the front line. We'll see what they end up picking up for AD carry. And meanwhile, oh my god, it's an HBK Jax comp. So to give some context, HBK has been drafting this Jax a decent chunk of the season. I don't understand why they keep picking it. I understand if it's a comfort pick for someone, but like they keep drafting Jax and then playing for 5v5s, and it just doesn't work. And I really hope they prove me wrong and play to the split condition, and like maybe play 1-3-1 with Jax and Shen or something, or like I don't even know. But this looks almost identical to a comp I saw in the regular season where they just couldn't play the game because their composition was so terrible. So. And the Echo being the same too. Like I don't understand they keep doing this, but let's hope it works. I don't know.
It's playing old school style Jax, where he used to be like the big team fight champion. And then we've got the Echo picking up as well. I like Echo personally. I think he's pretty awesome. Though with this comp, that's going to be 3 AD champs, I believe. I'm pretty sure Echo, most of his damage comes out as AD, right?
Echo's AP. But
Echo does come out as AP, okay.
It does end up being, I mean, the biggest issue here is HBK has drafted 3 melees. And
that is the other issue.
Echo is going to have a pretty hard time doing anything in a game with like Sion and Lulu, being able to peel for the backline. On top of that, I don't think Echo's super good right now.
And on top of the Lilia.
Yeah, it's just really hard for him to play. I mean, all these champions are really hard playing the game. I think Shen's really the only pick here that I don't mind a ton. And even that's kind of, whatever. So we'll see. They ban out the Galio once again, trying to prevent that double global, which I like from that. And they are going to ban the Cogmoss. The Cog Lulu will not be coming out here today. So we'll see what else they can adapt into that. I think there's plenty of other things to pair with this Lulu, something like the Jinx, like the Varus. There's a lot of other options. We'll see what they go into, but they haven't quite locked in this Cog ban. We'll see if they actually opt for it. I think they should.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to play against Kog Lulu with this composition. There's pretty much no way to get onto the back line. Echo
There it
can
goes.
try, but yeah, okay, they are going to ban away with Kog'Maw. And now we have to see what else Udyr is concerned about. They are going to take away the Ezreal. So to me, this telegraphs that they want to play a hyper carry like we'd expect. One of the biggest weaknesses of stuff like the Kog'Maw and Lulu, Kog Lulu, Jinx Lulu, whatever, is to poke. Poke basically is how you beat those compositions, and Ezreal is pretty crazy at the moment, so it's good to see that taken away. They are going to take away the Draven. I don't think Draven Lulu is super crazy, but it's probably, it's good. It's not like anything too crazy to worry about, but again,
it's not too crazy to worry about on its own, but with what we exactly, I was gonna say, with what we've seen Photograph able to do on that Draven, it's just gonna get absolutely nasty. Admittedly, there are some inherent flaws in the champion, just because he telegraphs exactly where he's gonna walk with those double axes, but Photograph has been making it work, and it's been absolutely spicy. On the side of oh dear, I am looking for that hyper carry. I want to see something like a Jinx, just because I love Jinx so much, and we just don't see enough of her in this league because of how important it is. We're going to get a Twitch instead. That is going to be interesting. We have not seen a lot of the little rat on the Rift this season. He is such a noxious little guy, but it's you gotta love it every time he just pops up and says hello.
I think Udyr should have matched the mid pick here and taken ADC on 5 once they saw the enemy ADC pick, but at the same time, I respect it. Okay, just like Twitch Lulu is obnoxious, and if they get ahead, it's going to be basically unplayable. I mean, for like 3 melees plus threat, and 4 melees now, really, and like you have an AD carry, but if you can't get onto the Switch and one-shot him, then the game's unplayable. I mean, like, there's nothing they can do. They have this huge front line with the Scion. Lilia's going to be able to provide a lot of utility for peeling for them and also getting to sleep off.
Ooh, we might be seeing an Aphelios. I would be so stoked.
Please don't do this.
I want to see it. I want it. I want it. No.
Oh, no, that's not better. That's actually not better.
Bring it back.
Oh, my God.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring back the Aphelios. It's much better than the Kai'Sa. Aphelios actually got a buff on the patch. Kai'Sa got a nerf.
Yeah, okay, don't do it. To be fair, the Aphelios buffs are basically nerfs. He actually dropped in win rate. He's pretty bad right now. And by pretty bad, I mean he's absolutely awful. He's actually probably better solo lane than he is ADC right now, and even that's pretty bad in a lot of situations. So I don't know. I don't like either pick here. I understand what they're thinking with Kai'Sa. They want to be able to dive onto this backline and kill a Twitch or something, but like Kai'Sa's so awful right now, and I think she just can't play lane either. Like she's gonna get outranged super, super hard. We're gonna see a Seraphine come out mid lane for Big Twig. HBK is so outdrafted here. I can't imagine how they're gonna win this game.
That is an absolutely rough draft that they have to deal with. Just seeing the Seraphine boils my blood anyway. But at the same time, I love me the Twitch. I'm so excited to see this. So let's just go ahead and hop onto the Rift and see what happens.
Come on, you. Let's dance. Ha!
Alrighty, so with the way this thing is starting off, I am expecting it to be a pretty basic 5-man fan on the side of OOD. I don't expect them to do anything too crazy starting off. They're probably looking for more of like a mid-late game comp with this, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but the thing is, so is HBK, but they just have a worse comp. Like, the thing is, HBK is also... Wait, whoa, you got Shen jungle and Jack's top?
It's a return of the River Shen.
Oh my God. Why?
But he's not even doing River Shen correctly. You don't take flash on River Shen. You don't even take
Why is this
spikes.
happening? I don't understand what HBK is thinking. You're either just tilted and they're just picking comfort or something, but I don't understand why your comfort pick is Shen jungle. And like, just go Jax jungle. It's better. I don't even care. Jax is terrible, but like, it doesn't matter. It's just, if Udyr lose this game, I've lost all faith in like Udyr as a team. I
would lose faith in League of Legends.
This should be the freest game of their lives, and like, I can't even. If they die more than like a few times in this game, I think I'm gonna be a little concerned. None of these champions should even play the game. Jax is going to basically do nothing in this lane. Shen is going to clear so slowly compared to Lilia. It's going to be outpaced super hard throughout the jungle. Also, he's Shen jungle. And then, like, mid lane, Seraphine gets basically a free lane. Echo doesn't really have kill pressure on her ever. And Echo's just going to have to scale up, but he gets outscaled by the rest of the comp anyways. And Kai'Sa's bad, and Thresh basically has to hit hooks in this lane or they don't win. And I don't think Photograph's going to get hit by hooks blind usually because he's a decent player, but we'll see if they can make it work. That is kind of the one way they can do something here is with the kill pressure bot lane on these early levels, trying to get the hooks into the Kai'Sa burst.
Yep. So we've got a nice bit of back and forth going on here in the mid lane. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of trades between Idris and Big Twig, just both kind of going at it. It's probably going to hold pretty steady for the most part. That was a nice hook onto the Lulu. Antunes having to proc the Guardian in order to not take too much damage, but that Acathean Rain comes out. Not able to do a lot. Its 10-second cooldown instead of 8 is going to make a huge difference. Look at that Big Twig taking a lot of damage, getting ignited and electrocute proc, getting down to about a quarter of their health bar, but they're going to still be okay.
That's actually a favorable play for Big Twig, though, because he ends up... Oh, boy.
Look at that. That was a nice hook, and Photograph actually got pulled right there. He did get flayed back as well. That is Photograph taking a lot of auto attacks from Kai'Sa. He should be fine. Able to escape just all right. H-Block looking for that, getting polymorphed. Nice getting a little bit low. I do think that the Udyr is able to come out a little bit more on top in that fight, though.
Yeah, so Udyr actually had a huge advantage in the mid lane now because Seraphine ended up bringing the flash in response to Echo's flash ignite, but Seraphine took teleport. So Echo has no summoners, no longer has kill pressure because he has no ignite. Like,
that is correct, but at the same time, we have the River Shen coming out, getting a nice taunt onto the Bob Jones, but he's taking a tower shot or two in the end.
Really, really good. His ganks are so good, and he's just such a good champion.
Yeah, I think that River Shen can work, but it's more of one of those, it does things that you aren't expecting to, and that's why it wins.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I didn't expect him to try to gank the Scion with the wave in front of his turret there either, but I don't know how effective it was.
He was just
getting really hard out traded.
Hyatt getting so out traded. Idris is going to take so much damage. He has no flash. He has no summoners. He's trying to stay alive, but it's just going to be absolute nothingness as the little doe just goes prancing around the bot lane.
This game is so unplayable for HBK. I mean, like mid lane, just that first blood is just kind of the icing on top, but they didn't even burn the TP from Big Twig yet. He just stayed in the lane after that all-in, healed up, and he's going to be able to push in the wave now off the kill, reset himself, walk back to the lane. He'll still have TP. Idris has no summoners. We'll never be able to kill him here. And, like, I mean, realistically, every lane is going to be winning for them. I think even in the bot lane, Photograph, even despite getting hooked there, like, the Lulu's able to give them the shields. They have so much poke here. They can't really force onto them unless some crazy stuff happens with, like, 4-manning bot or something with, like, a Shen ult at 6, then I don't know what's going to happen, but HBK look like they're in a really dire situation.
HBK is looking a little rough for sure. However, this is League of Legends, and we have seen people pull out crazy ones before, so we'll be looking for that. That Counter-Strike does not block the knock-up from the Scion Q.
And now he doesn't have it for the Grasp proc, so he's going to be out-traded once again. And meanwhile, Big Twig's going to be totally happy to pick up this wave under his turret. He bounced the wave before he resets, so he gets the full wave, doesn't lose anything. Picking up all that CS, and he should be up on the Echo and CS.
H-Block getting slowed. He's taking a lot of damage from Photograph. He throws out the hook, does manage to pick up Antunes, but Antunes is going to be able to just walk away. He's still autoing. We've got the Ignite dropping onto H-Block as well to just try to get rid of as much of his health as possible.
Here's the 4-man bot lane. This is the 4-man
bot lane.
They don't get the stun.
We got Twitch. Nope. Twitch gets a nice little hide. Idris is trying to get Antunes, doesn't manage to get off the final
Photograph's nice kiting right there.
Is doing fantastic on his kiting as well. And in the top lane, we have Bob Jones and Hyatt going back and forth. This fight in the bot lane is still kind of going.
BK's tilted. They're 4-man bot right now, and Hyatt's about to get solo killed top under his turret. Photograph's totally fine. They literally can't do anything.
Photograph throws out the poison flask, gets a couple more auto attacks, is not able to get the kill, does have to burn the heal in order to stay alive. The rest of HBK is just going to back off and heal up, try to recover and group themselves so that they're ready for the next fight, and that's the TP coming out for this top lane.
So they try to 4-man bot, and Photograph just almost kills Floral.
Ooh, Bob Jones is taking a lot of damage from Hyatt, but he's going to be fine. He's going to walk away. It is Scion, that is true. So basically, when he dies, he gets a second health bar and a chance to kill him again.
Yeah, and Photograph's going to crash this wave now. It's a pretty big crash. Bob Jones...
Look at this, Hyatt! Bob Jones is just kind of like, he burns the flash, so that means that he is going to go down because he's going to get the kill. Bob Jones now running towards Hyatt, probably just looking to get a little bit of damage, but now he's just going to hit the minion wave. Get himself some CS so that he's able to come back to lane with a little bit more gold, and that is going to be a kill for our Jax in the top lane.
Bob Jones was being pretty greedy there. He just needed to reset and walk back and just give up the fact he was going to lose a wave there, or just TP on it because the Hyatt already matched the TP. But
Photograph going invisible to escape the Thresh.
Yeah, and Bob Jones now is back with full HP, and despite getting the kill, I don't think Hyatt wins from here. He's still down 20 CS, so I think the kill is basically completely nullified. And Bob Jones should have a pretty easy time, but they are going to have the Shen come up here.
They are having the Shen come up here. We do have the Scion ulti just running it down as he runs into the top side jungle.
To his jungler. In fact, they might
Exactly.
get baited and die here. Actually, Soximus is here and they don't know about this. They're
That is exactly what they're doing. We got Soximus getting it out. The Drowsy comes out as well. The Sleep, and that's going to be a unconscious Shen just taking so much damage as he just gets bursted.
What is Idris doing? Why did he go back there?
He tries to escape, but at the same time, he just ends up getting killed. At the same time, dashing over the wall. We have Soximus going around the edge. Does manage to get the bonk on the head. Sending him away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is game.
That is very, very rough. We do have Rift Herald coming up here in a couple of minutes. Then we have a Mountain Drake on the map, so they're just basically waiting it out. So many free objectives available for ODR.
Yeah, and topside jungle is going to get taken away. That's no blue buff now for the Shen. Shen jungle is now 20 CS behind the Lilia and has gotten no successful ganks off, whereas Lilia has participated in 3 now. I mean, wow. Photograph's alone bot lane, but he's totally fine. I mean, he knows he's in the 1v2. He's playing weak side. He's going to walk back. He can give a couple CS here. It's totally fine. The plate is going to go down. He's not going to be able to get it. I think, well, Floral should let the plate go down to deny the plate, but I don't know if it will in this situation. They're going to rotate up the dragon now. Big Twig will be fine, and I think they can actually pressure this dragon as soon as Soximus rotates back down to the bot side of his jungle and does the clear.
That is definitely what they're going to be looking for. And we have Lulu once again. Antunes returning. The little squid is in the bot lane.
This is really good from Photograph and Antunes here, actually pushing in this wave, getting a really big crash off right before they rotate the dragon. So now the bot lane from HBK cannot rotate to this dragon, or they end up giving a lot of this wave. And they're going to have a lot of early time to start over getting vision on this dragon and be able to start it up with Soximus.
And then so we did see that Prolupal has made an appearance in the bot side, though they are aware of his presence down there to try and contest this Drake. So I think they're just going to go ahead and back off rather than try and fight it. They know that they're in a lead, and so they just kind of want to hold on to it. They're going to crash this wave once again. And then in the top side, it looks like we've got our Scion and Jax just kind of going back and forth, trading tanks, you know, slapping each other with big pieces of ham.
Ooh,
and we got Hayat, though, getting a nice knock up. The sad B coming out.
I think if Bob Jones has ultimate, he actually just kills him there, but thankfully he ended up burning it to get out of that gank earlier, so it ends up being okay for Hayat. I don't know why he just jumped back in.
The baiting B. That's definitely...
Oh, Shen ult coming through.
We got the Shen ult, so it is the expected gank. I'm not entirely sure what's going to go on. We do have... Yep, that is a good cancel by making sure that he stayed next to Bob Jones. He's still totally fine, absolutely.
Big Twig's coming out. They're both going to die now.
Look at this. we got the Shen block 1
Seraphine ulti?
auto attack.
Seraphine ulti coming out?
Seraphine ulti has not come out yet, and we just got the damage coming out instead as it just goes ahead and takes him out. Doesn't need to use it. It's actually on cooldown right now. Looks like it's just now coming off.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it ends up being pretty good for them still. They still get the 1 kill, and meanwhile, bot lane's just winning on their own. There goes Floral. Oh, that's H-Block actually getting killed.
Antunes did have to go big in order to stay alive using the wild growth on themselves. Photograph.
Meanwhile, H-Block burned the flash, the ignite, and they end up just being able to push him out of lane. So I'm not sure that's a worthwhile trade for HBK. And they also have Soximus here to dive Floral, so Floral's going to die as soon as this wave crashes.
More than likely, I think that's going to be exactly what happens. We got Soximus throwing at the bowling ball. Doesn't quite manage to hit it. Void Seeker hitting Soximus, and he's just staying right outside the edge. We got the Polymorph as the Kaiser goes down. Drowsy comes out as well. The ulti coming out from Floral trying to get it. We have basically Lulu going for the flash kill right there.
All right, it was a bit of a messy dive, but they end up getting it after that, and hopefully
a little bit messy. Antunes does see that he's about to get caught out by the Thresh, who just throws the face hook, and then he's going to give himself up. That is going to be perfectly all right for the side of ODR as they realize they have to give up the little squid in order to survive.
Yeah, that ends up being totally fine. I mean, Antunes shouldn't die there. The die was pretty messy, but look how much CS is being denied right now in the bot lane turret. Floral is going to be so far behind now. He's going to be dying behind almost probably a full level and a half on XP, I imagine, from Photograph. And on top of that, it's just the CS difference, as well as the plates going down for Udyr and the dive.
That is, and look at this. We got Hayat actually putting in a lot of work, flashing under tower. He got baited a little bit hard. There's a massive wave there, so I don't think that we're going to see Bob Jones go for this because he does not have ulti at the moment. That would have been kind of spicy if it was up, though.
Yeah, I mean, Hayat is winning out a decent amount on some of these trades now, but I don't think it really matters.
Idris getting the nice strike on his face by the Lilia. Soximus doing a decent amount of damage. There's the Seraphine ulti, but it actually misses as Idris manages to just walk off to the side. Prolupal looking at this Herald, or looking at this little Rift Scuttler. Lots of like little skirmishes going on that don't really need to be happening, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, it just ended up being okay though. Udyr doesn't really need to fight right now, but also they've been winning the fights bizarrely, even though they are the scaling team comp that will just hard outscale them. So it couldn't be going worse for HBK outside of the couple kills they managed to pick up on Antunes when you ran into the turret and Bob Jones getting killed top lane one time. But I mean, outside of that, it's been pretty clean from Udyr in this early game, not giving too much away. And Twitch Lulu is perfectly happy to sit here and scale. I mean, even if they hadn't gotten that dive off from Floral, they are still up CS regardless, and they are going to be pretty happily scaling up into these first couple items. Twitch is almost done now with his Kraken Slayer.
Yep, it's only the mid laners right now that we are seeing that are even in CS. Look at this. Soximus getting caught out by the Jax and is actually
shouldn't have woke him up there, I think.
Shouldn't have woke him up, unfortunately, but ProLupal is being joined once again. Look at that! Blue team does manage to actually pick up the Herald, but they're going to go down before they have a chance to actually pick it up.
No one's going to be able to pick this up, actually. They can just gatekeep the Herald. Bob Jones can... maybe
that
Idris
is the goal.
Go
no! Bob Jones actually misses it, but Idris is completely ignoring the actual Herald itself. There they go. They finally go to grab it. Took them long enough. We do have a little bit of craziness going on. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like it was a bit of a split fight, split decisions.
Big Twig kind of randomly got bursted on the side of that fight and died to the Echo, but he didn't really need to be there, so I'm not sure what happened. It's still pretty okay. It's nice to get that kill on Echo. It doesn't even go over to him, actually. It goes over to, the Jax, so... I mean, the Jax being fed's okay. You can play to the split win condition eventually to avoid having to team fight into the Twitch, Lulu Seraphine, and the Scion, but, like... if they actually do that is the question.
Look at this damage coming out onto Bob Jones. Right, Hayat is getting so baited as we have Soximus come in to join, but look at the amount of damage that he's able to do. He's able to take down the Lilia because that poor little deer is just really squishy.
I think Lilia probably should have walked away after hitting the Q, but I mean, ended up trying to stay for a little more damage, I guess, with the auto attacks, and Hayat just bursts him. So now this is a 3-0 Jax. It is pretty scary. If HBK can actually commit to the split condition and like actually play to the side lane with their Jax, they can have a chance to win.
We got ProLupal looping around as he goes in onto the Antunes, gets the nice taunt off as Antunes has to use the Wild Growth to try and stay alive, but they're going to get bursted down by the Kaiser auto attacks. Photograph trying to kite this out, doing a lot of damage, but he doesn't quite manage to pick up a kill. Nice dodge from the Thresh hook. He saw that it was coming.
HBK's managed to pick up a couple of nice advantages around the map here, and I mean, it is keeping them in the game so far, but they are still down 2,000 gold, and they are falling pretty far behind in terms of scaling. Meanwhile, Bob Jones is able to pick up the top turret despite the fact that Hayat's pretty far ahead, and he might die for this, but he does. Yes, she doesn't have the ultimate, so he probably will die for this, but I think it's okay.
He might die, but it's going to be a situation he's trying to get as much damage off onto Hayat as he can so that when he does go down, he's able to try and kill him with the passive. Look at that photograph getting taken down by H-Block.
What? I think he tried to 1v2 them, and he just,
I believe he did. There's a lot of damage. Oh, he got caught by the hook, and look at that healing coming out onto H-Block.
Killed him through the exhaust. That's pretty scary.
He killed him through the exhaust. The poison does manage to take him down. Floral picking that up as
it is quite a big shutdown going over. Somehow
you
get a 100 gold shutdown there, but I mean, yeah, we'll see what they actually make of this. That's kind of the question here, because even with these gold incremental advantages coming around the map, they're still down gold. They're still down objectives in terms of the top turret going down first turret, and they are probably going to lose out on the second dragon as well unless they're able to get something really, really big off here. It's one-shot Big Twig before the fight starts. So
yeah, we do see that they know that this Drake is going down. ProLupal is hanging off in the side. Dragon is actually reset because of the damage. The Drowsy comes out, and that is going to put him to sleep, and it's going to make it to where he just can't wake up before the Dragon goes down.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Hayat is able to drop the Herald top lane, get some plates for himself. This probably will be the full top T1 going over for him, but Bob Jones coming in.
Bob Jones coming in from downtown. The Mega Train does a decent amount of damage, but we have the Shen ulti coming in as the Stand United comes in on this. Bob Jones does not have his ability to escape. He's looking for a nice clap. Look at that, the damage coming out from Soximus as Lilia just puts the Dream Dust on him and puts him to sleep.
How did Photograph die?
I'm not sure. We're going to find that out. So it looks like he's in the mid lane going against
walk melee range of Echo. Yes, good plan.
That is a fantastic plan. He gets 1v3'd, gets completely bursted down. The Echo ulti coming out as well. That is a little bit of a misposition by Photograph. I feel like he felt he was a lot stronger than he actually was.
I don't even know why Photograph and Antunes are walking up there. They know their team is all collapsing topside, and they're going to win the fight there. There's no reason to commit to anything mid lane where you know you're at a numbers disadvantage. It's just like... Really
I don't believe
bizarre.
that they really knew that there was a Thresh hiding in the wings, and they thought they could just cheese it, get a decent amount of damage, and kind of bait it out.
I
But
mean, yeah,
you know,
they know everyone's
it's
missing. They know
Mythic.
their entire team is committed topside, so like no one can be there for them if they are getting collapsed on, and they don't have vision on anyone. So it's just really, really greedy photograph to even walk up there. And Udyr really just need to kind of again go back to being a more controlled style with these scaling comps. If they're going to play this way, they need to make sure they actually control the game and don't just go for these random skirmishes all the time, especially when they're winning on the other side of the map on skirmishes where they actually kind of thought it out.
Look at this, Soximus throwing the bowling ball over the wall, getting a nice bit of damage from Burn coming out. That is a huge Shen coming in as well, but it's not going to be enough as Soximus takes down Jax. Pro Lupul getting taken down as well, and that's going to be a nice bit of damage. Photograph trying to get some revenge on the H block for the amount of damage he's done to him, but instead ends up having to just blast the turret.
All right, Udyr kind of seem like they've gotten back in the swing of things. Stop kind of running it down around the map. They're getting some objectives picked up now. They get the mid T1 pushed down with Twitch now, and I imagine they can probably finish this before anyone rotates. Antunes and Soxmas are here. They might be looking for more.
They could be looking for more. I have a feeling they're looking for this mid turret, just focusing on that.
This is quite greedy. I don't know if they should be committing to this play. I think that there's a pretty high chance to get caught here, but unfortunately Floral is still bot lane pushing down that turret when I feel like you should probably rotate when they're caught out this far up in the lane.
Theoretically, but H-Block missing the hook and Idris missing the stun does make a big difference. We do have Big Twig throwing out a nice Q, getting a lot of damage, decent amount of damage on that. Right now, I think that we're gonna have the look at that. We got a sneaky little rat in the jungle trying to be a sneaky deaky.
Shen jungle seems like he's having a rough time of it against Soximus.
I don't know about that.
Okay, Soximus, what are you doing? Oh my god.
You see, but he's just gonna get bursted down by the void stacks from Kai'Sa.
What are they doing? Well, he sees all three there, and he just commits to diving. He could just walked away.
They feel they've got this game in the bag, and they're just like, we're gonna.
Okay,
play
what is this Shen ult? This is okay.
This is Shen trying to join the fight, trying to do something.
He was literally standing next to him. He just ulted for the shield, but he didn't need the shield, so it was completely wasted. And now they have no Shen ult. So Udyr's just gonna be able to push down this bottom turret. Now they are getting okay. Thank God Jax is split pushing here. If they commit to a 5-man bot lane, I'll be very upset. But he actually is able to get a decent amount of damage on the top side here. He is still quite ahead.
And here we have Bob Joan going in. The hype train is there. Hayat jumping over the wall. Does try to escape. Like you said, he's going for that split push comp, so he does know how to actually escape, which is good. He is going to get knocked up. He's going to jump onto the ward, use the blast cone. We do have him trying to bait Bob Joan onto it, but Bob Joan's not able to get to the other side to follow.
Yeah, I mean, so they do get a nice trade on the backside of the map, but it's just not enough right now. Jax can eventually come online to the point where he can be a real split push threat and threatening even to the inhibitor turret, but so far, because there's still the T2 up, they still have so much pressure in their other lanes that Jax split pushing isn't a realistic threat they need to respond to.
Surprisingly enough, he just go ahead and starts up this Rift Herald, and Soximus basically
is really split here. He needs to be careful.
He is very caught out. Photograph is on the backside, basically trying to take this Thresh out 1v1. Kai'Sa does hit him with a Void Seeker, so they are able to. Now there's a 5-man for Rift Herald, and Soximus just cleans it up. That was a nice leash by HBK for OOD.
I'm not sure why either team is flipping the game on a Rift Herald at 19 minutes. There's no reason to fight for this. There's like nothing to get for it. Realistically, maybe you get the mid T1 off it as your HBK, and if you're Udyr, you probably don't get anything off it. Maybe the mid T2 if you get a really good fight, but like there's no plates, there's nothing to do. You might as well set up for Dragon here. They do get lucky, and they just randomly able to push them off, and they get a free leash from them, so they don't actually need to really spend that much time doing it, but altogether, just kind of a baffling series of events, and now they're going to fight for the dragon, so no one's gotten a chance to reset because the Rift Herald fight, and I don't even know who has more gold in their pockets.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where it's we've got OOD up 4K, and it's so nasty. Look at that Scion, 424, and then we got, like, he's the beast monster that he you absolutely want him to be. Meanwhile, Shen jungle 152.
They're going to have to look for a steal here because they can't commit to the fight right now unless they're able to get a hook off. But I don't think Thresh is going to be in a position to get one right now.
Oh, we have Shen jumping over the wall, so he's in the Dragon Pit. Does see the health of the Drake.
Scion, that's really helpful.
HBK does end up hooking Scion, taking a lot of damage as Twitch just starts putting the poison out, throwing it down. Look at that. We have a
big Seraphine ult.
That was a huge Seraphine ult. Hayat does go down. Big Twig takes down the Thresh, getting the double kill on the Jax as well as he takes down Hayat. We got Scion, who is big as Lulu can make him. Just flashes in, gets the slow. There's a flash coming out from Floral to try and escape. We do not have Bob
Joan really going hard for this. Jesus.
photograph once Idris's blood. He put the
I
poison
think he's
stack
dead
down.
to the poison if he doesn't get the shield
He's
in
not
time.
going to be dead to the poison. The shield's going to come down in time and stays alive. That is going to be the Drake now going over to the side of OOD.
And this will put OOD to soul point, so they can actually force them to take the 5v5 now. Jack should no longer be allowed to split anymore because they've had to lose so many of these dragons in the early game. And if he commits to splitting one more time without teleport to the dragon fight, even if he does teleport and he's there just a bit late and they lose this dragon for soul, the Cloud Soul on Udyr's team is really, really scary. The amount of movement speed they're going to get off it for stuff like the Scion, the Lilia, the Seraphine, even the Twitch ulting and being able to be super fast is crazy.
It really, really is. And at this point, I don't see a lot that's available for the side of HBK besides getting the Jack split push online. There looks like there might be trying to force a fight around Baron possibly in order to allow Jax to push the bot lane. But Scion has already headed down in that direction and has TP so he can join any fight that breaks out.
And this feels so bad if you're Kaisa, right? There's nothing you can do here. You're so outranged. You actually never get to hit front line. You have to hope you can dive into the back and somehow one-shot Twitch, but you really should never have the opportunity to because you don't have a plasma stack for it because no one on your team can CC the Twitch. And he had to build an LDR
Look
already.
at that. We got to just try to dive into this. They do manage to pick up the, that is going to be a double Drowsy, knocking out both the Echo and the
nice
Shed.
Echo R.
That is a good Seraphine Charm as well. H-Block taking a lot of damage, getting rooted by the Everfrost, and even though he has his cage up, it's not going to matter. Soxum is getting a lot of burn damage from that Dream Dust as well as they escape over the wall. Look at that!
Now going over
Look at that! How many how many stacks of Dark Harvest does that deer have? I have no idea, but it's probably a lot. 13 stacks right now.
Yeah, and the biggest problem here now is the people still left up really can't walk in. They have no range whatsoever. Echo and Thresh are the only ways they do anything. Echo has to somehow get a one-shot off on someone in the back line, or Thresh has to get a hook. And without those, they have no way to engage on them. So Udyr can just push down that inhibitor with, pretty easy for them just walking up and hitting it, and they can't walk up to them. And now they get to walk back to the Baron with all the pressure they've accumulated in the mid lane. And I think they should reset before attempting this, honestly, but they might just do it right off the bat because they feel like they're so far ahead that they can't really contest it.
I have a feeling they're probably actually looking for the bait because they know that they're probably looking for that. Look at this. We got all the wards coming out.
This shouldn't work. HBK shouldn't really think they're doing the Baron right now, but they're just going to walk up the mid. What in the world are they doing?
H-Block walking right up the middle of that lane. We're going to get our Pig Twig catching out the Echoes. He just takes a lot of damage.
Might just be over
on the top, trying to survive. It's Channel to just stay alive. Getting flashed on. Seraphine trying to get a hit. Doesn't manage to actually get it. Look at that huge Dark Harvest stack coming out as it does so much damage. And that is going to be a Shen going down as well. That is an easy Baron pickup at this point.
That is an easy Baron pickup. That might have been an end angle. I think they could have just run mid with the wave, but they are going to opt for going the safer way with the Baron. Hyatt's going to get the bot T2. But okay, wait.
No, they're not going Baron.
Now they decide they can end after they didn't do the bit. What?
I am not entirely sure what's going on. We do have Hyatt coming here.
I think they realized they could end very late and then tried to commit to the end after they didn't make the call to end immediately. So they can they turned on Baron and went back to end, which is really strange. Now they can't end.
They can, really but they can at least get a Nexus Spirit out of it. They're trying to stay alive now as the
that was
Hyatt.
Worst of both worlds, though. Now they don't get the Baron or the end.
No.
Oh man, oh dear.
That is some.
Udyr has a fascination with just not ending the game sometimes. I'm not sure what happens, but they're in a position where they just have to make one last play to just finish it out, do it cleanly, and they just do things like that where they wow, okay.
Yep. And look at this. Pro Loophole accidentally finding Soximus in his jungle as he's just trying to go for his Raptors, but
jungle pretty good, huh?
Putting so much damage right now. Hayat is jumping onto this poor deer. She's like, run away. She manages to
catch her.
dodge
I mean, she's fast enough. Oh, okay, she
is fast enough. Does get the Drowsy. That is so much damage about to come out. Look at that burn. It is going to take him down. He does manage to take down Soximus, though.
Honestly,
so there is
it's probably okay for Udyr. That's the main split push threat gone, and they can't actually commit to anything now because they have to play the 4v4 into this Twitch, Lulu, Seraphine, Scion, and the Lilia isn't actually a crucial part of their team fights in a large extent. I think they can just rush Baron here. I don't think they need to really worry about the fight, and they'll stay really, really healthy because the Seraphine will keep them all healed up the entire fight.
But rushing the Baron would get them closer to the end of the game faster, so that's obviously not what OOD is going to do.
Also worth noting, Seraphine's going like full AP burst here instead of the support build.
Look at that. The train is coming in. He doesn't manage to actually reach, though. The hook comes out from Thresh, doesn't manage to hit any targets. Sion right now is just tanking
the T2's
turret.
still up, right? They can't hit
no
the T3. Like,
reason. I think they forgot about T2. Look at that. Look at that face. They're like, we didn't make a mistake. We know what we were doing.
Okay, so now we're going to push down the T3, but they're all back up. So this is actually a 4v5 in the bot lane. They're in a really scary situation now. And let's push
very
everyone.
scary
That's a
situation.
huge Seraphine ult, though.
Huge Seraphine ult. Huge Sion knockup. Look at that. We got a lot of damage coming out. We got the cage coming out. That is a shot for Jax. Jax just doing the work, going in onto these squishies, taking out all the tiny targets.
All going to die here. Soximus is going to try to pick up the Cloud Soul while this fight's happening, and he's delaying long enough. So I think it'll end up being Cloud Soul for Udyr just as a result of him delaying so long in the base. But Bob Joan can't really do much here. He can't get the inhib. I guess they
might have been able to get the tower.
The tower was pretty close to death, but I don't think he could have gotten in range to really get enough autos on it without them CCing him with the rush hook and flay and whatnot. I just don't understand why Udyr's overcommitting to this. They know they're 4v5 on the map. Soximus is still in their base. And they walk up to the turret when they can just let the minions do the work until Soximus is able to get up there and they can crush to mid.
Yeah, but at the same time, that would again bring the game closer to the end quicker, which is not what OOD wants
why
to
they
do.
chose not to do the Baron there, instead just chose to run it down bot lane. So
exactly. Oh my gosh, that Jax is just doing so much damage, jumping onto these squishy targets, taking out the Lulu, taking out the Twitch and the Seraphine. There's nothing that those team members could do. And
if only there was some kind of champion with AoE damage and slows who could put the Jax to sleep when he tries to engage, who could be there with
really
him when they try to take
fights.
the team fight. That would be really useful.
Yup. In the meantime, though, that is just going to be Soximus going over to the Cloud Drake, doing a decent amount of damage, and probably just picking it up for free before they even realize what he's doing.
I think they know he's doing this, but they can't do anything about it because they were taking fight bot lane. They're all so low HP, and if they walk in, Soximus can probably delete whoever walks up at least. So it's a pretty quick take, too. It's Lilia, and he's pretty fed. He has Leandri's end zone. He's done. He's working towards what looks like the Cosmic Drive, so we'll see what he's able to pick up on this next back. I imagine he's pretty close to finishing it, and he's also on the Dark Seal. The most important thing here, though, in terms of the itemization, I think, is definitely the stopwatch being picked up on the Seraphine. This should be pretty important for when Jax has the backline. If she's able to stay alive for long enough and come up with another route, perhaps, then fights could look pretty different for them in the last one, even if they're fighting a 45. Well, Soximus might be caught here. He doesn't have to flash.
He is getting caught inside there. He's having to go golden to try and stay alive. We have the Thresh coming out with that right there. That was actually kind of funny. I liked what they were doing, trying to get the Echo to be able to do the cheese. Kai'Sa does manage to pick up the Twitch.
Almost got him with the trigger, or the...
Almost got him. I think they're just going to chase Hayat down, though. There's nowhere for him to go. He gets caught by the Everfrost and the knockup from Sion, not to mention the ult. So that is going to be a dead
well, now they
Jax,
can't defend. The game's just over.
They're going to push it down mid. Defending. That's just going to be them pushing it down mid, exactly. So we have a lot of damage on the side of Udyr that there's just no response that HBK can provide.
Yeah, they're just going to end here. It's really unfortunate that Hayat gets caught there, but I mean, honestly, I'm glad that they're finally able to close. It was pretty frustrating watching them just not start Baron over and over and then try to fight into the base.
We got HBK trying to throw out a hook, doesn't manage to hit a good target.
Wave, actually.
Gets the charm onto Thresh.
Udyr didn't keep the wave alive in the mid lane, but I guess it doesn't matter, maybe?
It doesn't matter greatly. They are able to do it because Sion just makes turrets not exist by walking in front of them.
They don't do that much damage to the Nexus without minions, so this is actually going to take a while. I think they can still end because Floral's the only one up, but they are coming up with the Shen. I mean,
they do have Shen coming out. It's very close. They might be able to do it. They should just be able to clear this wave. We got Bob Joe trying to go for the damage.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, he's doing a lot though. Look at this. The Sundead Sion trying to do it. Got Twitch sneak it in.
Nexus. He's invisible.
Yep, Twitch just snuck right up and was able to finish it off.
Oh, what a game. I mean, Udyr should have won so many times there, and they finally get it together and end the game, but that's not the way you want to end.
That is you know what, we're done toying with our food. It's time to say goodbye to HBK, and they just go in and knock them out. That was a rough one, to be sure, but it was a game.
It was certainly that.
All right, so there's not too much really to talk about here. Great performance out of Photograph and Antunes. I think that bot lane on the side of Udyr was doing a really, really good job. We did see that Soximus as well was doing a great job as a Lilia jungle versus a Shen jungle. You can chalk that up to comp difference, I think, though, in this case. And with that, Anton, you got any final thoughts before we take a break for that interview?
I will say, I was glad that HBK actually played a side lane with the Jacks. They didn't just commit to team fighting nonstop all the time, as they've done in the past. It's a much better look for them. It looked like Hyatt actually almost had a chance to really make a difference in this game, but again, just the comp difference was too much. They were so heavily outdrafted here that it felt like even if they were able to get small advantages, it didn't matter.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough game. With that though, we will be seeing OOD move on to the next round, and I am really looking forward to the future of these Mythic fights. So we'll be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back with an interview.
Hello, everyone. Chris Edgeworth here for our only interview of today, actually. I am joined by Bob Joan, the top laner from Team Udyr. How are you feeling after the win?
Feeling pretty good. That was definitely some of our cleaner games, I feel like. Really happy to come out with the dub.
So, after yesterday, unfortunately, Udyr did drop in their set against SGR. So then they bring in the big guns, obviously, in the top lane, subbing you back in for Django. How does it feel to be the savior of the team today?
Feels incredible. I mean, obviously the team comms just don't function without me. No, I'm kidding. Django, our sub, is incredible and super sweet and the nicest person ever. And really, he's been able to sub for us on a moment's notice a few times, and we're all really grateful to him for it.
Yeah, a good opportunity for us to tip our hat to every sub in this league that has helped sort of keep the broadcast afloat with duct tape and prayer at some point. So shouts out to Django and any of the subs that help make things happen. So let's talk about your contributions today. Game 1, you did get the top Nocturne, which is a very spicy Season 11 pick. I'm really enjoying it. You piloted it well. And then
Thank you.
Game 2, you're on the Scion duty though. So let's start with Game 1 though. What were your thoughts on this Nocturne matchup?
The matchup's really Nocturne favored, and Nocturne's just a really good top laner. Unfortunately, our draft was definitely pretty trolled because we have Nocturne and...
So you guys had Nocturne, Voli, Silas. This was the Ziggs game, Ziggs Blitz, and then you guys were up against the Garen, Xin, Ryze, Vayne, Lulu for our viewers out there. So yeah, talk to me about this.
Right, yeah. So we had the Vayne on the enemy team, and we had the Ziggs with Nocturne Volley, and that was just a very stressful comp that I don't think we'll be running back, unfortunately. But the Ziggs will be running back, so we'll see that again.
Yeah, the Ziggs was crazy spicy. Can you give me any insight on how this came to be? His photograph just like coming in like the mad scientist, just like, we can do this, like it's just like Giga IQ, like we can just galaxy brain this game and just get the Ziggs splits.
Yeah, so Photograph actually used to be a mid lane player. Back when he used to play mid, he was a Ziggs one trick. So he's one of the cleaner Ziggs players I've ever seen. And back when Twisted Tree Line was a mat, he played Ziggs all the time. He really is a Ziggs savant and has been wanting to bust it out for a while now.
I mean, this is some deep lore, I guess. But Saros out in the LJL, man, he's made a pro career playing Ziggs in the mid lane. Out there, so maybe in a different timeline that could have been you, Photograph. Let's talk about Game 2. This was a much more conventional team composition, I guess, is how I'd put it. It was a little wacky in some regards, but you had, as I said earlier, the Scion duty. Photograph pulled out the rat, and then you got Speedy Deer out there. What was your thoughts on your Game 2 draft and your approach on this?
Our draft felt pretty good. It's definitely mostly comfort picks, but it also just is a really strong comp. Scion is just the most fun champion in the game. I love tanks, and he's so fun. And everyone loves playing with Scion, so it works out.
Are you, let me ask you this. Are you versed in the dark technology of some of the other Scion strats? Is this a possibility we might see you break out in the future?
I'm not going to promise anything, but Lethality Scion is always on the horizon, for sure. It's just a few less. Sometimes teammates aren't quite on board with the Lethality Scion, maybe.
Oh my god, who cares, man? You're top lane. You just play how you want, man. That's how my solo queue games go, anyway. All right, I'm just venting. Let's flip over to your team communication. I did want to ask you a little bit because this was something that was noticed in the broadcast. What is communication like in your team? We saw a little bit of I don't know, not that your calls didn't seem to be coming quickly. You guys sort of seem to realize your possibilities and come to the conclusion after a period of time instead of being able to commit to something in the moment. Can you give me some insight on how things went in your team if you recognize this as well?
Yeah, some of our teammates were watching some TikTokers box against YouTubers or something, which was an unfortunate. Some people were just a little distracted. I'm not going to name any names, but comms were cluttered. People, it was a low point for the team, but we pushed through it, and luckily everything ended up working out okay.
TikTok strikes again. Damn you, TikTok. Okay, so that's. I didn't expect that angle to come out in this interview because I had no idea that was going on until Twitter was my timeline was just a flush with names I didn't recognize talking about them fighting, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm out of touch. So, let's talk about your team. Looking forward to next week then. Udyr does continue on now in our lower bracket. How are you feeling, or how's the team feeling about your odds going forward?
We're pretty excited. Our series against SGR yesterday, people were feeling pretty good, but obviously it was a loss. So I think people are excited to, have some more hard matchups and come out with wins.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing Team Udyr as they continue through our lower bracket. And Bob Joan, thank you so much for this interview. Before we end our broadcast today, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I just through thick and thin, I'd like to thank you to everyone who is constantly supporting us, to DB and Bob and Twitch chat, who's always a big Udyr fan, to Bobrovsky from POG, who's always giving positive messages to us. Like, we just are really thankful for everyone who's on our side.
Well, excellent. So, folks, thank you for joining us today. Bob Joan, thank you for this interview. Folks, we will be back with our Heroic broadcast on Tuesday. We'll be picking up with Mythic, though, next Friday. So join us for that set of games. We'll be joining you at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Folks, have a wonderful evening, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back next week, as I said. But we'll see you for Tuesday for our Heroic matches. Thank you, and have a good night.